Join us for Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, a talk show on vital topics like tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on ZIZ on the last Monday of each month, starting January 30th at 8:30 p.m.
With the most.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the second episode of Youth Lounge with SKNYPA.
Back again.
And of course, our last episode we explored culture. And we had a very, very thoughtful and very entertaining show. And this evening will be no different as we explore Black History Month. And we, of course, we have our own twist, our history. And of course, from our backdrop and our decor from Events Extraordinaire, you would see that we have our hand, power to the people, and of course our flags representing our African roots and our local roots as well. So Malaika,
yes, sir.
You over there done in your African couture.
Clothes, isn't it?
Tell the people where you get your clothes from now.
None other than Kiwi Couture.
Yes.
Right on Baker's Corner.
Yes.
Sandy, you're looking nice over there too.
Yes, I got my shirt from Kiwidan as well.
You don't, sir?
So what we want you to check out Kiwidan, as Malaika said, right there on Baker's Corner. And during our advertisements, you will see and hear more from Kiwidan herself, encouraging you to come on in and shop. Everything you could get for your baby brother, your baby sister,
to grandmother,
everybody could get it.
Everybody could get a piece
from Kiwidan. So yes, this evening we have a very packed show, and so we're gonna take a short commercial break, and we'll come back with our first guest to explore our history.
Welcome to Kiwidan. Come on in. At Kiwidan Couture, we greet you with a smile, and on top of that, we have great fashion. We have clothing for boys and girls, as well as adults. We have dresses, skirts, blouses. We also have shirts for men. At Kiwidan, we also provide the service of custom-made clothing, so persons can bring their fabric and their style to get something made. And we also provide the service of alterations. Since I've had National Bank's point-of-sale machine, customers do not have to worry about having the exact amount of cash. If they see something they like, they can just purchase it. They do not have to worry about going back to the ATM. For your next special event, I invite you to try Kiwidan Couture. We will make you something fantastic.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA specials from February 23rd to March 8th. Now our Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Baking Chips, just $10.99. Duncan Hines Fudge Brownies, $5.99. Kellogg's Pastries, just $10.99. Essential Everyday Apple Sauces, just $11.99 each. Sunny Delights, Tangy and Smooth, $4.99. Eggo Waffles, $13.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. Pringles chips are just $8.49. Essential Everyday Croutons, $5.99. Essential Everyday Cornflakes, $8.99. Colgate toothpaste, $8.99. Extra liquid detergent, $22.99. And Dial soap is just $9.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí a Value Mart.
Hi, and welcome to Events Extraordinaire. I'm Candice Franklin, and I'm the Managing Director at Events Extraordinaire, where we believe in adding the sparkle to every event. At Events Extraordinaire, we specialize in event planning, event management, photo shoot decor, just about any event that you can dream up, we can execute. Events Extraordinaire is located at OOJJ's Commercial Complex, which is right next to the 24 Hours gas station in Camps. So stop by anytime and you can partake in what we have to offer.
Welcome back to Youth Lounge with SKNYPA. If you are joining us right now, then you have Miss Dr. Gill with us, a historian and the former general manager of Brimstone Hill, as we explore this evening's topic, our history. So now we have Dr. Gill here with us, and Dr. Gill, this is Black History Month as we know it, and of course majority of the times we hear persons thinking about Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Rosa Parks and their impact on history. But do you think that there is enough focus being placed on our local history in this month?
There is always more that can be done. There are some entities that try. For example, at the college you have Miss Sheila Morris, who for several years now have been trying to promote our local history and heritage, culture, etc. And Miss Morris has been doing that for a while now.
Yes, she actually taught me when I was at CFBC.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So she's one and work with several entities who try to promote our local history, heritage and culture. But there is much more that can be done. There is much more that can be done, and I think the Ministry of Education has realized recently, because I remember they had some workshops in which I and several of the teachers participated, and they're trying to address the lack of emphasis on local history in the syllabus.
Okay.
In history, we do a regional CXC exam, and so that there is some restriction there because the students have to be on the same page regionally into the exam preparation. And so sometimes the local history, the syllabus is also packed already, the history syllabus, so it's hard to include the local history. But I've always argued that there is a teacher, if they're so inclined, there is leeway. You can use, for example, the SBA.
Yes.
Okay? And you develop a topic following the themes of a particular CXC topic, but they scope to use local research. So I'll give an example. Some years ago, when I was at ICCS, the Immaculate Conception Catholic School, I had given a 5th form class, and SBA, on the Haitian Revolution.
Yeah.
Now the thing is that
I had that.
you had that as well?
Yes,
okay.
I did.
But this is another 5th form class. This is actually the first one I taught when I started teaching at that school. And now, when the Haitian Revolution occurred, it created a panic among the plantocracy. And so you had various laws being passed with efforts to try to prevent. So we encouraged the students to use the National Archives and look at laws that were being passed in St. Kitts during that period between 1791 and 1804. And there was one student who was able to come across in the laws that were being passed, etc. So there are ways you could link the local history with it. And that is a segue for me to mention the fact that one aspect of our history that is often overlooked, that we need to highlight more, is the role St. Kitts and Nevis played in resistance to enslavement. Because generally when we think of Maroons and Maronage, we tend to stereotypically think of the Maroons of Jamaica.
Yes, because when I did history in high school, there was a heavy focus on the Maroons in Jamaica and them being the runaway slaves. They're up in the mountain with the guerrilla tactics, etc. So it's funny that you're mentioning that there is a syllabus that there is none that, of course, it eliminates the ability for us to focus heavily on the local history. But how, you mentioned the SBA, but what other ways do you think that we can improve our younger generation's knowledge of the history?
Even in the general teaching, for example, we know more about Maroons in Jamaica because many of the texts have been written by people from the larger territories.
Yes. Right.
Although thankfully that is changing now that you have myself and other colleagues from the OSS territories, more people are going into postgrad studies in history, archaeology, related fields, etc.
Right.
But even in teaching the topic, for example, you teach about the Maroons, but then you also give examples about Maronage in other islands. And you encourage the students that when answering an essay question, a test or exam, you use those examples as well. Okay? You're still following the guidelines and the restrictions of the syllabus, but use those examples as well. And this is the opportunity to educate your examiner.
Yes.
So the examiner who might be a Jamaican, a Trinidadian, a Guyanese, and St. Lucian, they can learn about your territory. But there's much that needs to be taught. Let me give an example. And I know we're limited on time, but I need to give this example. One common misconception that many people have, and it's an understandable one, was that Juan de Bolas was the first Maroon leader in the Anglophone Caribbean, the Bolas of Jamaica, because when Jamaica was originally a Spanish possession, when the English invaded in 1655, the Spaniards freed many of the enslaved Africans, okay, with the intention of them harassing the British. And Juan de Bolas became an important Maroon leader during that period. But many people don't know that the very first recorded Maroon, it did not last long, but the very first recorded Maroon community in the Anglophone or Francophone, in either the English or French speaking Caribbean in St. Kitts. Okay? In 1639, during the time when the Poincy was governor of the French part of St. Kitts, and so in Capistier, the northern part of St. Christophe, which is what the French St. Kitts is known as, some Africans escaped and went to the mountains. And they escaped because they were concerned about brutality of, planters, etc. And so they created a settlement in the mountains. It did not last long because while St. Kitts is mountainous, we are a much smaller island than Jamaica. So it was much easier for the soldiers to go into the mountain and destroy the settlement. But there was this one individual who, unfortunately, his name has not been recorded, who lived as a fugitive for a long period of time, evaded capture, killed several people, and myths grew up about him that he had supernatural powers, that he was bulletproof, etc. Several attempts to kill him failed, including people shooting at him failed, until they were able to finally kill him and capture him. But he was the first known recorded Maroon leader in the English or French-speaking Caribbean. So then this is about almost 2 decades before Juan de Bolas. So there are many aspects of our, and there have been numerous revolts, etc. There was one, can't remember her name unfortunately, but there was one revolt led by a black woman in Nevis. Okay, and then even after emancipation, you have, for example, the Buckers Revolt.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna explore that later on in our show.
Yes.
But how do you think we can encourage persons? Because believe it or not, young persons view history as the boring
subject.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How can we encourage persons? Because persons are not aware as much as the history surrounding Brimstone Hill, the history surrounding the Berkeley Memorial.
The smallest of things people aren't aware of.
So how can we encourage younger persons to tap into that local history aspect so that they can be aware of their roots, they can be aware of their origins?
One suggestion I would make, right, because I'm seeing it in other countries, because the issue right now of getting students to have an interest in history is not unique to St. Kitts.
Yes.
Okay?
I would imagine so.
With generations coming up who are being from a very early age have been socialized on social media. So they get people to develop their attention span to sit down and read. I come across students who love to read, but not everybody. One approach would be to use various media. For example, we have a lot of young people who are interested in the graphic arts. So create graphic novels or novellas that you can tell stories about people like Marcus of the Woods, tell stories of the Buckers Revolt, etc. We have young people who are interested in graphic arts, and so explore using different media to bring out these aspects of local history.
But not even only graphic art, but theater arts as well. Because
graphic arts, theater arts.
When I was in high school, our history teacher, Miss Swanston, big up Miss Swanston one time from the Washington National High School, just had to get a plug in. But when we did different topics, like when we did revolutions on the plantation, when we did as much as the Arawaks and the Caribs, she would put us in groups and we had to demonstrate their lives in a dramatic piece, and there was no limitations on what you could do once you brought out the essence of what they would eat, how they would behave, how they would revolt, what the name of their leaders, how they treated the leaders, how they dressed. Once we brought out those aspects, you were graded based on the dramatic performance.
Yeah, you use non-traditional ways to assess.
And as you mentioned, the graphic arts, I'm volunteering and telling you the theater arts as well could be an avenue that could be explored.
Theater, dance.
Even dance.
Yes.
That right.
Even dance. Malika?
Well, although you spoke about how it would be incorporated into the curriculum, I have a younger sister, and I can't see her being able to interact with certain measures when implemented in the curriculum. Like, I'm not sure that by the time she reaches to 5th form, they're going to still have SVAs.
They will. They will.
It may not be the same.
It might be a different format, okay? And I guess it depends on the subject because, well, I like everything because, for example, what you all are doing now in secondary school, we did not have them when we went to secondary school. So
evolution.
You have evolved to, you find improved ways of imparting the information to the students, etc. New medium of doing things, etc., etc.
So do we wait until they reach to high school though?
Or we start exploring
now? Or do we start exploring now?
I think you need to start in the primary school. I think that is what the ministry is looking at right now in terms of revamping the curriculum from the primary school level, trying to incorporate more history and heritage from the primary school level. I cannot officially speak for the ministry.
But you're hoping.
But I know that they've held workshops over the last couple of years, and several teachers, including myself, were invited to participate. And they're looking, and that is an area that they're looking at, incorporating more local history into the curriculum, not just in Kitts-Nevis, but in the OACS generally, looking to incorporate more local history into the various curriculums from primary school level come up.
So although we know we'll always have that set of people who know about a country's history, how far do you think we can go as a people without proper knowledge of our history?
That's a good question.
This might sound like a cliche answer, but you will all be restricted because you always keep repeating the same mistakes, okay?
Yes.
And I always say that while as a small developing nation, we might see ourselves as being more hampered than some countries in the USA, we also have the benefit of hindsight because the USA is more developed than us. We are able to look at their mistakes and avoid them. Up to now, in the 21st century, we are in this the third decade of the 21st century. The United States has not come to grips with the legacy of slavery, okay? Because the United States got its independence from Britain. That was independence for white colonists, okay? And the Constitution, in a way, to protect that institution. And that it took several centuries to bring into slavery. And then even after slavery ended, you said that Jim Crow system and segregation, etc.
Yeah.
So because the United States has not addressed its past, that is hampering it now. So you look at the problem of race relations in the United States, and the thing is, whenever you have a country where a part of the population feels marginalized, it's going to inhibit productivity.
Yes,
okay?
that's true.
So we can learn from that, and we need to address our past in order to create a sense of national unity. And I'm going to be blunt about this. It might be an uncomfortable topic, but we are too, we have become too tribalized in St. Kitts. And one way to get over that is promote more of our local history and heritage and create a sense of being Kittitian.
Yes.
Okay? We all have a right to have our political affiliations, but above all, see yourself as Kittitian or on a vision.
That's a very good point. As we wrap up this part of the debate, we want to thank you. I think that you gave a very educational point on our local history and even our Caribbean history as a whole, and how we could develop our education and our curriculums so that we could advance and help persons to improve on the knowledge of our local history. And so, Dr. Gill, we want to thank you for being a part of Youth Lounge SKNYPA, and we want to ask our listening and viewing audience to stick and stay as we come back with more history.
Hello and welcome to Event Extraordinaire. Today we wanted to introduce you to our sparkler boxes. Our sparkler boxes are customized to fit any occasion. And today we wanted to show you what exactly comes in a themed party sparkler box. So here goes! Each sparkler pack contains enough items to have a party for 6 persons. So in addition to all the regular parts that come with a sparkler party, as in the cups, the spoons, the plates, and even the horns, we wanted to let you know that you also get masks, you get invitations, there are party hats, there's even a party banner, there's your usual loot bags, you get a tablecloth, and you even get blowers. Our sparkler boxes are available in a variety of themes. There's Spider-Man, Frozen, Paw Patrol, Minnie Mouse, Peppa Pig, any theme that you can imagine, Events Extraordinaire is here to supply. Please visit us today. We are located in Camps next to the 24-hour gas station. Our numbers are 767-6977 or 663-6227. Events extraordinaire. Let's add the sparkle to your event.
Get the kind of value you'll love that's unmatched at Courts now. We're unmatched in quality and prices. Buy any item and get up to 30% off the second item of same or equal value store-wide. When you shop with Ready Finance, you can get it now with no cash and pay over time. Now that's unmatched value. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply. Promotion runs February 28, 2023.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing. But hope is remaining. And we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we start. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para cortar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one climate, one Caribbean. One climate, one Caribbean.
Welcome back. We are back again. I just want to encourage you to send your thoughts and comments on ZIZOnline. First to react right here on the Youth Lounge with SKNYPA. But we're here with our next guest. I'll let him introduce himself.
Give thanks. Greetings. In the name of the living I, Kadamari Haile Selassie I, and our High Highness Yazeo Menon of Asawa, with our ancestors and our great gods and goddesses of the ancient Black Eternal race. My name is Rasaya from the Nyabingi Tiakosiado.
Thank you for joining us, Rasaya.
Give thanks.
We, of course, are exploring history in this Black History Month, and we had decided that we would just put a spin on it and call it our history as we try to explore our local history. You understand?
Yes, I.
And earlier we heard our first guest, Dr. Gill, mention a lot about the Buckley's Uprising. I had to tell him, slow down, we got a presentation for that one. So we want you to tell us more about the Buckley's Uprising, because we know that is an area that you are passionate about. So help us and help our viewing audience to learn more about the Buckley's Uprising.
Well, blessed love and honor. We'd like to say blessed to our elder, Brother Zambo, who is not with us physically, but he's with us spiritually, and he's one who was initially to give I and I the courage to move and agitate to see the Buckley's Uprising be a part in the annal of our I story. You say our story, but you say I story, meaning it belongs to I and I from the beginning of time. So we like to emphasize that with Brother Zamba and Dabo and others who are part of the Nyabingi Tiakosiada, we are able to establish that level of conscious awareness towards the Buckley's Uprising, seeing that is the annal of our strive in the modern era when it comes to the post-colonial era, where we still see the old criminal gangs of Britannia was still having their control over our economics and our social lifestyle of living. So why we now really fully free, as even they say emancipation, see a picture up lining how we was in the early times celebrating, and just to say the time now is now that we see the history, the story of the Buckley's Uprising be pursued wisely through the eyes of St. Kitts-Nevis as it really established in 1935 and brought right to the social change in the whole Caribbean Isles and even Belize in Central America. So these are the things that we find the story of Buckley's Uprising really bring a tale of unionism, where in the early time there was an establishment a ban against unionism in them time. That's why you see in 1930 there was the establishment of the Workers' League. And in the plight of the Workers' League in 1935 is where we see our martyrs them went out and stand for change in the economical situation. So that is really what the indication of the Buckles Uprising really resolved as a strive of changing the direction of our condition.
Yes. Well, I know recently they put together a memorial park for the Buckles Uprising. Do you think, what has been the impact of this park?
Yeah, man, that's a garbage about respect. Anyway, let me be frank and just it's going to be close a month because the 20th of January we celebrate the Buckles Uprising of this year. And that was the statement outlined from the minister who is the representative of that area. And then you have the Prime Minister making that statement saying that the cabinet had approved of allocating this amount of land that they will use to mobilize as a part of the history standard when it comes to as a national memorial park. But we want a memorial park. What we need is a museum, because the museum will be more highlighted than the memorial park itself. We want to be like the senator because they ain't real. We love.
Okay. So do you think, I know you and the others, a part of the order, has been pushing for persons to be aware and to be knowledgeable of the happenings of what took place at the Buckles Uprising in 1935. So are you saying that you disagree with the implementation of the memorial park? You don't think that is a step in the right direction for what you've been trying to achieve?
But now being the theocracy, it's something different from how the political parties them see things, you know. Okay. So we are not part of the alliance with no political party from my view, because I'm not a part within, I respect all parties, but when it comes to our way of social indication to how we stand as a people, I don't align with no political party, make it who they be. But when we see that we realize now these political parties looking for favoritism, it's try under the farm administration we say I think happen how we supposed to with all the talks. Now this administration come in, I hope we see more than just a memorial park, because what we're looking at is to basically have 5 pillars, and we don't outline it to the Prime Minister. So we could say it here, but
tell us about the 5 pillars.
The 5 pillars that we outline is to have the land be established as a national fund for our people to hold back that land that was sold in 2014. We want back the whole entire land estate be back into the hands of the people of the Buckles area. We will say the Buckles estate land.
Okay.
That is what we're indicating on. Now, and after that, we want to have a national holiday.
Okay.
And then
I did see something about that persons agitating for the debt.
And then we're looking forward to have the education part of it be inclined with the school, where you outlined to the first guest here that we see it be introduced as a part of the curriculum.
Okay.
See, and then we're able to see now where our martyrs and those who were injured and those who were jailed be honored as national heroes and get the honor, the highest honor in the Star of Merit, not by the new king, what they call it now, King Charles III. They say we honor them by our own rights, meaning our African rights, not no England rights. So that's how we're looking at it. And then the other pillar will be that we establish where we say a museum now to formulate the whole aspect of the history and narrate it to our own as how we're seeing it supposed to be, not how the British bring it to us. Because in 1935, in the Buckles Uprising, and then they had the Moyen Commission, where a lot of people don't really follow that serious indication where Lord Moyen really did his assessment and give the report. And when he gave the report,
recommendations were made.
No, the Britannians them hold back the report because there was a war.
But that report is what had the recommendation.
Make recommendation after.
Okay.
Because he didn't make recommendation at the same time the report gave to them. So that's where we have to find now after, in the late of 1940s, there when they come to union representation.
Yes.
And then from there, after union representation, you come adult suffrage, and then you see they lead up into, as they say, we could go on to vote, and then from there you'll see a change in the administration, from white into black.
Okay.
So that's how we see it.
So in terms of a timeline, how long do you think it will take us as a nation to get to the full extent of your order?
My order, not my order, I bring is not my order. It's a spiritual order that enhanced from the powers of the Almighty Himself. But we have the vessels and the vanguard of black eye supremacy. So when we look at the eye story of our people within the Bucklet Rising and beyond the Bucklet Rising, because in 1896 there was the Portuguese Riot. That's another spark of our people within that story. You see, but there's a lot of things we could dictate within the history of our people within St. Kitts-Nevis. But within what we're looking at is to make sure that the people of St. Kitts-Nevis, not just the older one, but the young ones, them have the interest of what the Bucklet Rising really start and create, and the changes of how we are today in the 20th century. You said the 24th, but we said the 20th.
Okay. So the Naya Bingith Yakusi order. I know the Bucklet Uprising is like a big or major part of what you advocate for, and you just outline the 5 pillars, which are very interesting pillars, and I think it pushes the story, and I think it helps to advance what you're trying to achieve. But what other aspects do you guys focus on? The order, that is.
Well, I would like to say, we are a theological group, and in our theological movement, we have our guideline as a part of our way to give back to the part of society makeup, and we always contribute back. Just recently, we just come off of Black Eye Story Month, and we have our week activities from the 19th to the 26th, which was just yesterday, Sunday. And in that week, we had 3 days where we contribute Black Eye Story books to 3 schools at the primary level.
Okay.
So we always find the indication to always, and we had food hamper distribution to Island White, to the elderly and the needy. So even a Centurion was a part of our recipient on that food hamper. So we don't just sit just for Bucklet Uprising alone. We have other ways of our calendar year that we celebrate, and just March the 1st will mark our celebration of the Battle of Adawa. I and I stand for my African heritage. You see, so we're not a Kittitian, not any vision. We are African, full African to the world.
Full African. I like it. But I like that the fact that you guys are leading from the front. You said you went and you give out your Black Eye Story book to the school.
Right.
And
you're not
you are
sitting down and letting the government do what you ask them to do.
We now have for them because they're ready for us yet.
Well, we see you setting the example for them and showing them what you want, because you want, as I said, one of the pillars is to introduce the history into the curriculum, and here you are donating books to the schools. But about the holiday, what do you think the holiday would achieve? Yes, we just celebrate independence, and we have the grand the Independence Parade as the celebration. But what are the ideas for the holiday that you guys have?
It's a good question you asked, Jimmy Bergen. And one of the things I always look back at is the billboard. What we're located right in the Bucklet area. We have a billboard displaying what the information, why we see it should be a holiday and what will it achieve. Because on the billboard said the ultimate sacrifice for Caribbean democracy that was laid in 1935 at the Bucklet Rising. Now, in the same light of that information, on the bottom part saying, our 4 players say they take a chance with their life, because even though they know what the situation would have occurred within, they know that it wasn't just for them myself, but for the future generation. So things like this here indicate now that we have to give back the homage to those who paved the way, so that it will be impactful when it be a holiday. So we say yes, we honor them who make that sacrifice in 1935 and before 1935. So, and even continue on. So these are the way we say kudos to those who are able to give us what we are receiving at this time.
Very interesting.
Well, thank you for that. Definitely a mouthful, if I can say so.
You got more? Okay, you could, in the final minute of this wrap up, what last thoughts would you share with our listening audience?
I'd like to put to the general public, since the news issue is very vast and wide, and because we're small in the island state at the corner, but we're rapid in fire burning Babylon system hot, and it's time now we open up the third eye to be free of who we are. Give thanks.
Give thanks. We're going to thank you, Rasaya, for coming, sharing so much about the Buckley's Uprising, the 5 pillars that you're advocating for, and they've heard it here. Advocating for the 5 pillars. Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, join with the Nyabinghi Theocracy order to advocate for the 5 pillars.
Most definitely.
And I'd like to add in something. Even though if the administration in pull up the socks, we are willing to go around the island and agitate and do sensitization so we can have a fun get-go for us to have established a monument for our own. With our ancestors.
That's amazing. Thank you once again.
We'll
be back with
more
Youth
right back
Lounge.
with more Youth Lounge. SKNYPA. Don't forget to join us on ZIZOnline to interact with us live here in the Youth Lounge.
Thank you.
Want to get away? Now you can.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder, yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing.
But hope is remaining.
And we can't ignore the future, it depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we stand. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one climate, one Caribbean. One climate, one Caribbean.
Welcome to Kiwidan. Come on in. At Kiwidan Couture, we greet you with a smile. And on top of that, we have great fashion. We have clothing for boys and girls, as well as adults. We have dresses, skirts, blouses. We also have shirts for men. At Kiwidan, we also provide the service of custom-made clothing, so persons can bring their fabric and their style to get something made. And we also provide the service of alterations. Since I've had National Bank's point-of-sale machine, customers do not have to worry about having the exact amount of cash. If they see something they like, they can just purchase it. They do not have to worry about going back to the ATM. For your next special event, I invite you to try Kiwidan Couture. We will make you something fantastic.
Hi, and welcome to Events Extraordinaire. I'm Candice Franklin, and I'm the Managing Director at Events Extraordinaire, where we believe in adding the sparkle to every event. At Events Extraordinaire, we specialize in event planning, event management, photo shoot decor, just about any event that you can dream up, we can execute. Events Extraordinaire is located at OOJJ's Commercial Complex, which is right next to the 24 Hours gas station in Camps. So stop by anytime and you can partake in what we have to offer.
Welcome back to Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, and of course we have a new guest here with us as we explore our history. Our previous guest said history. So now we have Ras Agard with us, president of the Tiwaladi House of David. Thank you. And he is here to explore our history with us as well. So we'll just jump straight into the discussion. And you know why you're here. We're here to discuss our recent laws on marijuana. I think as we go throughout Black History Month and our History Month, we can't help but realize the progression of the Rastafarian faith within our communities. So in light of this, how do you think the recent amendment to our marijuana laws, how do you think it would impact our communities, specific to your community as well?
Well, before I speak about the impact, I'll just like to say there's a movie they call The Matrix. And the movie, well, is more than a movie if you really analyze it. But there's the concept of the red pill and the blue pill. The blue pill is if you want to stay into the reality as is, you know, mental conditioning and what's not. And the red pill is if you're going to rise up for the experience to explore and free up yourself from the conditioning that has been done over all these years.
Yes.
So our government, for the past 30, 40 years, seem to be taking the blue pill. So there is really no uprising and no real change to really benefit the people for when looking into the future. So it's interesting that we're talking about Black history and then we're still talking about laws where in some places you would hear like people like Omar Johnson talk about Black people controlling their economics, controlling their education and the laws and different things. What Omar Johnson don't realize is that we live in that. And we still have laws, like we want to discuss here now, that seem to be kind of strange in the sense that, you know, some of it would be seemingly contradicting for some, because for some they'll say, well, okay, the rest of them could have this amount, but the brethren on the street, he can't have this amount and different things like that and so on. What I would like to say is that the impact of the laws don't really have no, I would not say have good or negative impacts, because to me it's just more word, more talk than anything. You know, we just need to see things in action instead of just conversation mode. And so therefore I really see no impact in the sense other than police harassing people sometimes when they ought not to. But in terms of impact for like a future generation, there is no impact at all. It's just, in my view, the blue pill.
Very interesting. That alone was a mouthful.
Definitely.
Yes.
So, based on what you just said, do you think that there is a existing contradictory when it comes to, you know, you can't smoke in public but not feel free, but go ahead and grow the marijuana?
Well, I think one of the most contradictory things is that people like to talk a lot about the marijuana smoke. I don't even know if it's really contradictory or is it a sense of ignorance. Because when the marijuana cultivated since way back 6,000 years BC and what's not, and people use it, the Hindus use it, all these people use it to do all kind of different things. The marijuana only became legal just in this modern time. So contradictory in itself that agriculture is the most important industry in any growing nation.
That's true.
Cannabis is a plant.
Yes.
So just like how you have lemongrass, you know, soursop, and all these different things and so on, cannabis is just a plant as well, and can be used for a whole lot of other things than even most plants can deal with the one thing and what's not. So the idea of it being a plant, and it really should be under agriculture in the sense of cultivating it and using it to do other things and what's not, seem to contradict the whole idea of agriculture in itself. It contradicts agriculture more than how it contradicts the laws, how they can govern within the society where, you know, you have cigarette smoke over there.
Yes, but that's my whole view and my whole thing about this whole idea of smoking in public. Is it that we are speaking about marijuana smokers only, or are we speaking about cigarette smokers as well? Because here we have, you are able to go to the shops, you buy a cigarette, all there is a warning
label, right?
This is bad for your health, but then you go out, you still person still blowing the cigarette smoke in your face as well. So what do you think about that aspect?
Well, this thing about people blowing smoke in the face, I don't know where that came from really, but I guess maybe there might be one or two.
It exists.
There might be one or two persons who may have done certain things, but I think it start getting that kind of attention from the same political minds, because as Rasta, that ain't something Rasta do, you know. So the people who does that, and then now you're gonna blame maybe a plant for that happening. It's not about the plant, it's the personality you have to deal with. Not the plant, it's the people. People take Viagra and mix it with Guinness and do all sorts of things. Is it the Viagra? No, it's the people.
Okay.
We had a lot of killings and so a couple of years back. Is it the gun? No, have you ever see a gun running going anywhere?
Okay, that's how you look at it.
A gun don't run gun away. It's somebody always behind the gun. So it's somebody behind the smoke. You know, so I don't think we should generalize it like that, and that seemed to catch a lot of attention, and then you find you have the so-called grown-ups who are supposed to be us saying these kind of strange things, and then you the youths now coming up, you know, listening to all these things. I just hope that with all this knowledge that we share with you from the very get-go, from when the historian was here, that you use this to build on, because to just listen to these things and just continue it from generation to generation, it is really not benefiting our people. We're still in the same position for the past 50, maybe 100 years, in the sense of the mindset. You know, we hate ourselves so much sometimes. Well, let me not say we, because I don't hate myself, but a lot of our people hate themselves so much that they're ashamed to look at themselves sometimes. They try everything in their power to not look like what they're supposed to look like. You see like how you are just right now? Yeah. This is how you should dress every day. This is how you should dress every day, but we take on the European idea of things that you can't even go in the court now and you shut in your pants, else you got some police there, you know, dealing with you like you're a child. I'm talking about grown people now. You know, oh, put your shirt in your pants and stuff like that. That mindset is the blue pill. That mindset goes back to the same blue pill. The blue pill represent those people who have no willingness to change, no willingness to adapt to the knowledge and understanding and the history and the culture of our people from where we come from since back into the time of slavery and before that.
Okay, and that's a very good point for me to segue on to my next question for you. So now recently when they had the debate in Parliament, I came across a Facebook post from Jihan Williams, and she said, tune into the debate on cannabis in Parliament, and happy to see moves are being made to change the laws around cannabis. I really can't wait for more people to see it as just a plant or any other agricultural product. Some members are worried about its dangers and policing homes from second-hand smoke, but we are content to leave cigarette smoke to personal choice and policing. And I want to skip down to the part where she says, but I think it's a good thing that cannabis was singled out because so much research has been done on it and the benefits and secondary uses are properly documented. What if we treated all plants like that? What if we went behind what we were taught and consciously seek to find benefits and alternative uses for plants generally? What if, like cannabis, there are more benefits and uses from spinach, clammy lemongrass, and other plants that we don't know because they are not on anybody's radar? What if, like spinach, clammy and lemongrass, we treated cannabis like any other plant? if local brands like Mother Becky's soursop and mint basil teas could be sold on supermarket shelves and exported, what if local cannabis growers could develop their own tea brands for supermarkets and exports? This industry is bigger than medicinal, in my view, but I guess it's one step at a time. I would imagine you would have some thoughts on this piece.
Well, I really give thanks for the sister presentation. It is nothing new to us in the sense we just recently, a few weeks ago, had an organic market, and we featured the cannabis. So there are persons who are making products such as what the sister there mentioned. So it's nothing new to us. It's happening already. It's just probably not getting the type of attention that it should get.
Yes.
But in terms of the plant being treated like, as she mentioned, the climacterial and all that, this is what we've been promoting for a very long time, because we see it's a plant. You know, sometimes the way people speak about cannabis, it almost appears if, well, is Rastaman went in a lab and make the plant. No, he didn't go in a lab and make the plant. The plant was created just like every other plant, and that would prompt me to say that, you know, when it comes to the biblical aspect of it, that it was the second thing that the Creator said to deal with, and that is the herbs, and have it as you meat. Then he went on to say the green grass is for the cattle, and the herb-bearing seed plant, such as the cannabis, is for the service of man. So it's nothing that we made, it's just that the whole concept of Rasta came from biblical backgrounds. That's what you would hear, like Nazarene vow, and if you listen to Bob Marley songs, most of them are scriptures from out of the Bible. And in there, you find that the cannabis was used to, as far as the holy anointing oil was concerned. So cannabis, as the sister mentioned, is only in this modern time. This is so. 6,000 years, 7,000 years, 8,000 years of history, there was no illegal cannabis. There was no such thing.
But you know, we live majorly in a Christian society.
Right. So I was just about to ask, do you think that this amendment would change how we function as a Christian society?
Quote unquote.
Christian society, that in itself is kind of contradicting to say, because there's a lot of things in our society that is happening that is far from Christian, in the sense of what I know Christian is supposed to be, at least in the sense of not the Western idea of what we consider Christianity to be. Christianity out here is too divided, number one. And with a lot of division, that's one of the first contradiction of the whole idea of Christianity in itself.
Christianity is supposed to be unity.
Right, the Almighty is one, and the Almighty oneness set down and gave us laws and different things to go by. And we see Christianity basically trying to break as many laws as possible.
Yeah.
I hope the Christian community don't think I'm bashing them or anything, but we have to be real. This is what we see in our society every single day. We see when we were locked up in COVID, it might have been skits for jokes and what's not, but it seemed like people were more concerned about coming out to get tithes paying and offering paying than actually, you know, just stay home and read the Bible and learn the Word of God for themselves. So, and then in terms of cannabis, it's not even just me alone supposed to be. I should have two Christian pastors here at least defending it with me, seeing that it comes straight out of the Bible.
That's an interesting thing. You want to put a youth lounge two pastors here defending. Do you think that would ever come to fruition?
If we keep agitating and keep encouraging and try to get the education going, I think it's just a matter of time, and then you guys being the future pastors and parliamentarian and what's not, I think it's in our hand, basically.
So you make it the foundation?
Yeah, we did.
We time to build up.
Yeah, man, we don't put on the foundation, the steel and the just to run up the blocks now and do what you have to do. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we want to thank you, Ras Egan.
Well, I know wrap up. I just have one last question.
Okay.
What do you have to say to the people who still see marijuana as this drug, bad plant that should remain illegal?
I would say, take the red pill. You know, read your Bible and look for some history. The guy Gil who was here, he seemed to be very good with his history, so maybe if somebody like him they need to listen to and just go into the books. We have Google have on all sorts of information, as long as the American government go along with it, and you could find basically anything that you need. So it's right there. I mean, there's a book by Lawrence Cherniak, who wrote about the great book of cannabis, and there's a lot of research done in that that book. You could go ahead and get it. It's on Amazon for $144 US paperback. There's no Kindle version. If you want to borrow it from me, you just got to pay some fees, some library fees.
Library fees.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you once again. We'll hope to have you here again in the near future. Yeah. Hopefully when it's legal and you're able to speak about your thoughts on that.
Very enlightening session we had there from Rasigar.
I give thanks, man.
Yes, but stick and stay. We'll have another guest here on the Youth Lounge with SKNYPA. Don't forget, you can speak to us on all ZIZ platforms that we are streaming live. We respond to your questions as soon as we see them.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. You know, we realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
Same thing we're doing now. Not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases, such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need some help before it's too late, Mom. We can't let it get worse. What can I do? We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in CARIFORUM, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or Black Cards can do.
Mimi, what's that song?
It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. As we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing.
But hope is remaining.
That we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we start. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one climate, one Caribbean. One climate, one Caribbean.
Come on. We're back, and we're here with another guest in the Youth Lounge, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
Thank you, Ms. Howell. Good night, everyone. My name is Marcia Jeffers, and I am the current dance specialist in the Ministry of the Creative Economy. I am also the artistic director of Synergy Movements. That's a dance company right here in St. Kitts.
Okay, so tell us about your dance group, Synergy. I've been hearing about Synergy for some time now. Tell us about it.
Okay, so Synergy is 7 years old.
Wow.
It's a company that is situated in St. Johnson Village. We started just with 12 members, and we are now over 100.
Oh, wow.
We have been making strides. Our emphasis is right now girls. I'm not saying that boys can't dance, but our company has 7 groups, and our groups are named after flowers. So the babies, the little ones, are called blossoms, quite naturally. And then we have lilies, which is like 5 to 7 years. We have orchids, which is 8 years old, 8 to 10. We have daisies, which is preteens. Then we have poinsettias, which are teens. And we have dahlias, which are young adults, you know, those who are 18 and don't feel they're young anymore. You know. Yes. And then we have adults who just want to dance to, well, for exercise or to laugh with themselves and after themselves. Right. So we have adults. So we meet on Saturdays from 9 till about, well, all day basically. And it's exciting. We explore genres, ballet, we have modern contemporary, we do jazz, we do Afro-Caribbean, hip-hop, dancehall, salsa, anything and everything dance.
But tonight we want to focus on the Afro aspect.
As you should.
I danced for a good amount of my life, and Afro-Caribbean was always the best.
Favorite.
Of course. It's like, you know, oh, next week we got Afro. Yeah.
Everybody
make sure that idea on time. Because, you know, Afro was always the most exciting, and you get to, in my opinion, you get to express yourself way more than any other dance type, in my opinion.
No, but that is true because of our African heritage and ancestry. We have been, I want to use the word wired. It's in our blood. That may seem cliche, but we are really tribal people. When we hear a drum, we move.
Wired to move.
We're wired to move. We were created specifically and intentionally placed in that region for a purpose. And so it's by no chance or luck that you really love Afro-Caribbean music.
Well, that's like what Vani said on the last show. He said you can walk to town, beat to the drum, and you don't see at least 50 people tapping their foot.
Bobbing the head.
Bobbing the head to the beat of the drum.
It's like automatic.
Yes.
So, what part do you think, in the growth of our culture, what part do you think, well, our history, I should say, what part do you think that dance plays in that?
In our history, dance does a lot for our people. It tells a story, quite obviously from where we came from. It reminds us that our heritage was unfortunately built on slavery. Slavery was a part of our heritage, and so that story is communicated in the way we move, our nuances with our hands. We talk, and some people say, oh, we talk like we're arguing, but it's just basic movement, and every movement is a dance. Dance is therapeutic. When you hear the Afro-Caribbean drums, it takes you to that place of peace and celebration, and it's a mode of expression like no other, because the body is the instrument of dance. And so we as a musician, you have voice, and as a dramatist, you speak. The body speaks. It has its own language.
Wow.
So when I lift my hand and when I move, it's saying, hi, son. It's saying freedom. So when you fix your face and you move, there is
something that is communicated.
Yes. So when you're hurt and you feel it, or when you're happy, so there are various emotions that are communicated in dance. Dance also is impactful in that it tells the story of who you are, family, community, solidarity. That's what African dance does, because it's a village dance for me.
I like that. I like the part about the communication, because literally different expressions, you get it tells you a different story, like based on how you do this, how you do that. So I would like for you to help us understand the different moves, like if there are names, if we could explore some of those names, or like things along the line.
Dance, African dance in particular, has basically 3 categories or 3 umbrellas. Some are ritualistic or religious. Then we have some section of dance that are, as we say, storytelling. They're very griotic, and you know, griot is a storyteller in African. So, and then there are dances that are done for ceremonial purposes, rites of passage, and the birth of a baby, a wedding, an anniversary. So it is no wonder why when we having birthdays and so we a big bashment, because it's what they do in Africa. I mean, some people charge you to come to the party, but it's just a dance. Right? Some of the movements they stem from this specific tribe in Africa, and I had to write down the names because I don't know the different tribes. So if you would permit me, there's the people of Ghana who do a war dance, Abgadza, and then the Maasai people of Kenya, they have Adbun. There's a ceremonial rites of passage. The Zulu tribe do weddings dance, and there's a lamban from Mali that takes you, you know, you do a communal thing to say, you know, coming together. So the movements actually have meaning and purpose. There's different tribes in Nigeria, Zimbabwe. I think for us as Kittitians and in the Caribbean, we are the enslaved persons that came here. Most of them came from the Congolese tribe, and so there are a number of steps that we're going to explore. We have what we call the brush step, we have the dab step, we have the Congo step, where you stand up as if you have a nail dig, and you have the corkscrew, literally corkscrew, so your body goes in one direction, and your upper body, the torso, goes in one direction, and then your hip goes in the other direction, just like you're opening a wine bottle. So
simultaneously, or one
simultaneously, you are one body, Sammy. So you have to, we're gonna try. You're not segregated, and that's the beauty about Afro-Caribbean dance, because it's polyrhythmic. So you when you're doing your isolations, your hands could be doing something else than your feet, and it goes with the rhythm. The rhythms are layered, so you don't just have a steady beat. You're gonna have something under the beat. So it's
the different beats. You're doing something else different, but one sound.
Yes, one sound, one body, and that's the beauty of Africa. Is a oneness. It's a different sound, but it's a oneness.
I think that's you telling me. I'm ready to visualize it. I'm ready to visualize.
And it also connects with my dance company Synergy. They coming together. Individual parts is, you know, impactful.
Very, very, very.
Ready to try?
But like, anything else you want to ask the dance specialist?
Well, okay. I know that, well, yes, you're a dance specialist. We've been speaking about integrating history into the curriculum. Do you think that through performing arts, you can integrate our history into the curriculum?
I do believe so, and it has already started. Thankfully, we have some schools who actually do theater arts, and kudos to them, kudos to those principals who see the value in the arts and integrate it into their curriculum. As I was saying, like dance and drama is just a thing on the side, like a club you do after school. There's so many career paths that you can have within the arts, dance and music, and our children are so very talented. And so I would appeal to the Ministry of Education, I would appeal to principals in the schools to get the program up and running, because the children are very talented. Yes, we know doctor, lawyer, teacher, those kind of traditional professions exist, and our children are more exposed to the information now, and there are a plethora of job opportunities that they are interested in, cosmetology, everything. And so for me, I'm a strong advocate for the arts. I study dance, and I am a testimony that dance can work. I left here as a teacher because teaching was almost my passion and working with young people, and I went to Jamaica School of Dance and I studied for 4 years. I have a degree in dance education. And so I want other people to have that. And so I believe, you know, my role and my presence as a dance specialist is to encourage other people to be in the arts and encourage the government to have scholarships in the arts and not just medicine and business, because our children want to
diversify.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's I hope in this season that they would listen to my little voice in the wilderness crying.
Well, you said it on Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, and we are here to advocate alongside with you to advocate for scholarships for performing arts, principals and education and curriculum developers. Here we have our dance specialists advocating for the presence of performing arts within our high schools and even our primary schools.
Yes.
Because the daisies can and the blossoms can dance.
They can dance.
But of course we've heard the theory. After the commercial, we'll get the practical.
Woo.
Hello and welcome to Event Extraordinaire. Today we wanted to introduce you to our sparkler boxes. Our sparkler boxes are customized to fit any occasion. And today we wanted to show you what exactly comes in a themed party sparkler box. So here goes. Each sparkler pack contains enough items to have a party for 6 persons. So in addition to all the regular parts that come with a sparkler party, as in the cups, the spoons, the plates, and even the horns, we wanted to let you know that you also get masks, you get invitations, there are party hats, there's even a party banner, there's your usual loot bags, you get a tablecloth, and you even get blowers. Our sparkler boxes are available in a variety of themes. There's Spider-Man, Frozen, Paw Patrol, Minnie Mouse, Peppa Pig, any theme that you can imagine, Events Extraordinaire is here to supply. Please visit us today. We're located in Camps next to the 24-hour gas station. Our numbers are 767-6977 or 663-6227. Events Extraordinaire. Let's add the sparkle to your event.
Join us for Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, a talk show on vital topics like tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on ZIZ on the last Monday of each month at 8:30 p.m.
Welcome to Kiwidan. Come on in. At Kiwidan Couture, we greet you with a smile. And on top of that, we have great fashion. We have clothing for boys and girls, as well as adults. We have dresses, skirts, blouses. We also have shirts for men. At Kiwidan, we also provide the service of custom-made clothing. So persons can bring their fabric and their style to get something made. And we also provide the service of alterations. Since I've had National Bank's point-of-sale machine, customers do not have to worry about having the exact amount of cash. If they see something they like, they can just purchase it. They do not have to worry about going back to the ATM. For your next special event, I invite you to try Kiwidan Couture. We will make you something fantastic.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. You know, we realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
The same thing we're doing now. Not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need some help before it's too late, Mom. We can't let it get worse. What can I do? We can raise our voices.
With 35 million
Hello and welcome to Event Extraordinaire. Today we wanted to introduce you to our sparkler boxes. Our sparkler boxes are customized to fit any occasion. And today we wanted to show you what exactly comes in a themed party sparkler box. So here goes! Each sparkler pack contains enough items to have a party for 6 persons. So in addition to all the regular parts that come with a sparkler party, as in the cups, the spoons, the plates, and even the horns, we wanted to let you know that you also get masks, you get invitations, there are party hats, there's even a party banner, there's your usual loot bags, you get a tablecloth, and you even get blowers. Our sparkler boxes are available in a variety of themes. There's Spider-Man, Frozen, Paw Patrol, Minnie Mouse, Peppa Pig, any theme that you can imagine, Events Extraordinaire is here to supply. Please visit us today. We're located in Camps next to the 24-hour gas station. Our numbers are 767-6977 or 663-6227. Events Extraordinaire. Let's add the sparkle to your event.
Welcome to Kiwidan. Come on in. At Kiwidan Couture, we greet you with a smile. And on top of that, we have great fashion. We have clothing for boys and girls, as well as adults. We have dresses, skirts, blouses. We also have shirts for men. At Kiwidan, we also provide the service of custom-made clothing. So persons can bring their fabric and their style to get something made. And we also provide the service of alterations. Since I've had National Bank's point of sale machine Customers do not have to worry about having the exact amount of cash. If they see something they like, they can just purchase it. They do not have to worry about going back to the ATM. For your next special event, I invite you to try Kiwidan Couture. We will make you something fantastic.
Join us for Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, a talk show on vital topics like tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on ZIZ on the last Monday of each month at 8:30 p.m.
Now, was that a good performance or was that a great performance?
Most definitely a great one.
Yes, I saw a demonstration of the corkscrew. I saw that it can actually be done simultaneously.
Did you try it?
No. It was ably demonstrated by our dance specialist. Marcia Jeff was the owner, artistic director of Synergy. So now, fortunately, we are at the end of our second episode of Youth Lounge with SKNYPA. And no doubt, we had a very enlightening and packed show this evening. We started out with Dr. Cameron Gill, the former general manager of Brimstone Hill, and he gave us a wide array of local history, encouraging persons to tap into our local history and encouraging our curriculum developers to do more, to encourage young persons to explore our local history. We went right on over to Ras Aya, who would have educated us and enlightened us about the history, or he said the I story of our Buckley's uprising. He also advocated, and we are joining with him for the implementation of the 5 pillars. He labeled them this evening for us. We went over to Ras Agard, who spoke about marijuana and freeing up the herb. It's a normal herb, it comes from the ground, and he's advocating for pastors to join him. So maybe on the next time with Youth Lounge, we'll have 2 pastors here supporting him. Malaika, you want to thank our dance specialist?
Our dance specialist. Well, thank you, of course, for being here. We spoke about how history can be integrated into dance to better understand our history. And the Synergy Dance Movement does have a show in April, the 22nd of April.
Yes.
So do go out and support their show.
So will they have the corkscrew there?
Definitely.
I'm coming to see
I think I certainly need to go see the corkscrew.
I'm coming to see the corkscrew.
But thank you to all our guests here tonight, Dr. Gill, Ras Aya, Ras Agard, Marcia Jeffers, as well as Roy Fleming, her drummer. Well, Roy Flip, sorry. Roy Flip. My apologies.
What's the next thing?
Mr. Sprouse. Thank you for making our show such a success.
Yes.
Next month, the last Monday of March, we'll have our show again, and we'll be focusing on International Women's Day.
So tune in so you can see how women are changing the landscape in our federation and our region and the world at large.
Join us for Youth Lounge with SKNYPA, a talk show on vital topics like tourism, entrepreneurship, education, religion, sex education, and mental health, featuring experts from St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean region. Tune in live on ZIZ on the last Monday of each month at 8:30 p.m.